House Mornard needs adventurers! Who's... You look like someone who knows trouble. Adventurer by trade, am I right? I'm Dulef of the Mages Guild. Spellslinger for hire, and court mage to Count Mornard of Galen. At least for now. We could use your help, and we've got the gold to pay for it. The usual. Well, more than that. Galen's beset by sea elf pirates. But these aren't the usual isolated raids. House Mornard's defending the isle as best they can, but their knights are stretched thin, and the druids are too distracted to lend a hand. Some quarrel among the circles. Never seen the druids so at odds before. But if you're willing to help, go talk to the Count's son, Sir Stefan. He's just outside Vastir, leading the effort to drive off the Sea Elves. What do you say, sailor? Sir Stefan is outside Vastir with Lord Baccaro, the leader of the Society of the Steadfast. Which reminds me, I've got the healing herbs he asked for. Give these to Lord Baccaro, mate. Now I'm off. Got Sea Elf raiders near Windrak Fort to deal with. The druids of the Sisters Archipelago are divided into 3 circles. The Stone Lore, the Elder Tide, and the Firesong. Usually they get along. Or at least leave each other in peace. Lately, not so much. The Elder Tide resent the Breton noble houses. All outsiders, really. They believe islands belong to the druids. And some of them act on that belief. But we've got something of a truce with them on Galen. Turns out sea elves are everyone's problem. Druid Laurel thinks it's got something to do with an old prophecy. The Elder Tide blame the sea elves. And the Firesong refuse to explain themselves to anyone. So, your guess is as good as anyone's, mate. Me? I'm a mercenary, mate. A Mages Guild staff for hire. When all this trouble started to brew up in Galen, Count Mornard sent word to the guild that he needed a court mage. I was here already, so I got the job.
These sea elf pirates become more brazen every day. When is House Mornard going to do something?
You know, House Dufort never has these problems on High Isle.
That's not entirely true. There are those incidents with the Ascendant Order.
The Steadfast are here to aid those harmed by the Sea Elf attacks. I have no knights to lend you, Count Mornard, Sir Stefan.
We'll have to handle the Sea Elves ourselves then. I don't know what's keeping the druids.
You place too much trust in those ivy-robed beggars, Stefan.
Well, if it isn't Lady Arabelle's talented assistant, I might have guessed that Galen's troubles would draw you here. What can I do for you, my friend? Ah, thank you. We're short-handed, and I haven't had anyone to send for these. As you can see, the fighting on Galen has caused no end of suffering. And most of the victims are simple farmers and townsfolk, not soldiers. Damn those sea elf pirates! for the most part. There have been some incidents among the druid circles, too, but the sea elves are definitely the biggest threat. Talk to Sir Stephen Mornard. I'm sure he can find a use for someone with your obvious talents. Young Sir Stephen is over there with his father, Count Mornard. They will readily accept any assistance you're willing to offer. Now, if you'll excuse me, the Society of the Steadfast's work is never done. The Mornards are neighbors, so to speak. Count Leonard sent word to me about Galen's troubles with the Sea Elves. I have many responsibilities on High Isle, but still, I had to help an old friend. I am trying to be in two places at the same time as best I can. It involves frequent voyages from Vastir to Gonfalon Bay. Fortunately, I can trust Lady Arabelle to look after the Alliance leaders when I must be absent.
Well met, adventurer. If you're looking for work, I need all the help I can get. Sea Elf raids are nothing new on Galen, but never have they attacked in such numbers. The whole southeast shore is under siege. I'm not sure. Most Sea Elves are pirates. Easy plunder is what they're usually after. But the Dreadsails are more determined than any Maormer I've seen before. Whatever their goal, we must push them back. Hand me your map. I've received reports of Dreadsails near Windrack Fort, the village of Tuin and Suncleft Cove. I need you to investigate these sightings and chase off any Sea Elves you find. Let them know Galen won't go down without a fight. Not as ready as I would like, friend. We don't have enough knights to protect the whole island, but I need information even more than I need soldiers. Find out what the Dreadsails really want, if you can, and where they plan to strike next. All three locations I need you to investigate lie to the east. Chase away any Sea Elves you find at the fort and the village, and see if you can figure out what they're up to at the cove. Report back to me in Vastir when you're done.
Yeah! Over here, mate! I thought I might see you here. Looks like a band of Sea Elves got ashore and seized the fort. Now more of those sea dogs are on their way. I was hoping for some druid help, but they never arrived. So it's up to us. I spotted more Sea Elf warships brimming with reinforcements. Luckily, the fort's ballistas are intact. Get to the ballistas and stop those ships. That will give us time to deal with the enemies who already made it to shore.
there. Deep breaths.
I thought I might see you here. I spotted more. I'll see if I... Take a right when you get into the fort. There's a path that leads down to the docks. You'll find the ballistas there. My guess is the Dreadsail ships will flee at the first sign of resistance. They won't risk...
The day will be ours!
Nice work, mate. Your aim was impeccable. Well done. These Dreadsails may be fierce, but they lack loyalty. Even though they've got numbers on their side, they won't stick their necks out for their mates. That's something we can use against them. You've done your part. We can deal with the stragglers around Windrack Fort, now that they've got no reinforcements coming to support them. Your work's just beginning, though, mate. I fear the seas ahead will be rough for all of us. Word is, the Sea Elves struck there as well. It's just up the coast to the north. I believe Druid Laurel of the Stone Lore Circle is there, looking into things. I'd appreciate it if you kept an eye on her, mate. Laurel is like kin to me.
Light, take it. I came to help the Eldertide Druids defend their village, but I was too late. This battle is already lost. You're not an islander, and you're certainly not a sea elf. What are you doing here, stranger? Sir Stefan's a dear friend of mine, and practically a druid himself. We studied together, under Archdruid Raval when we were younger. It's not unlike him to worry about the druids, even the Eldertide. The dread sales happened, but it makes no sense. The Eldertide have no riches. Druids don't care about such things, and they command formidable magic. What pirate attacks a target that can fight back for no obvious profit? Druids choose their own paths. The Eldertide of High Isle are bitter, resentful. But as long as the Mornards don't push into Druid territory, the Eldertide of Galen are content to live in peace. It was foolish of the Dreadsales to provoke them. That's strange. It makes me wonder what the Sea Elves really hope to gain by these attacks. Let's look around. Watch for anything that looks interesting or out of place. With any luck, we can figure out why the Sea Elves attacked Tuin. A lore keeper? What relic could they be searching for? The candles are still burning. The Eldertide Druids who tend this altar have not been gone for long.
This is a great area for harvesting.
Ember blooms? The Firesong used them to cast certain spells. Are they involved in this too? Let's take a look in the lodge. There might be something about the relic there. Archdruid Orlaith, what are you doing here?
Confirming a suspicion, little Laurel. Archdruid Raval was right to call the Dreyfa together. Tell him the Firesong will attend. The time has come to gather the seeds. The prophecy of the Druid King is at hand.
The seeds? Is that what this... Oh, Blight. She's gone. Friend, we should talk. Root and rot! That was Archdruid Orlaith, leader of the Firesong Circle. I think I know what really happened here, and I don't like it at all. The relic the Dreadsails sought is the sacred seed of the Eldertide, a gift of the last Druid King. Each circle was granted one. That's what Archdruid Orlaith meant by gathering seeds. Could she be the druid mentioned in the Dreadsails' orders? This isn't the first blood the Firesong have spilled. A group tried to take the Stone Lore seed from a shrine on High Isle. Others attacked weirds on the mainland. Now signs of them here at Tuin? They've turned against the other circles. Not as far as I know. The seeds are mentioned in the Dream of Cassarain, the prophecy of the last Druid King. The Firesong seem to believe its time has come. The other circles, not so much. Perhaps the Dreyfa can make sense of all this. A council of druids, elders from all three circles. Archdruid Raval of the Stone Lore has summoned the Dreyfa to address grievances against the Firesong. But up till now, Orlaith ignored him. Tell Stefan about this. Pirates aren't his only problem.
Come and take us!
Sea elf bested the lot of you?
She hit us like a storm of steel. Didn't kill anyone, though. Just put us in the sand.
Can you believe this? I came to check on my knights when I found them indisposed. House Mornard's finest. Pah! Now, who are you? My knights tracked a band of Dreadsails to the cave here at Suncleft Cove. As they tell it, however, a single sea elf tore through them before they could search inside. Didn't even bother to kill them. Just knocked them senseless and left them here. Right. That was in my report. Since Sir Stefan sent you, I could use your help. Scout the cave. We have to find the prisoners and free them. I'll follow once my knights recover. Just watch out. The sea elf who beat them is somewhere inside. Remember, we think the Dreadsails have prisoners in there. Maybe some knights, but certainly druids from the nearby village. Find them if you can and set them free. We'll join you as soon as my knights recover their senses.
This one has the information I seek. We simply need to extract it from her. I'll take her with me to the keep. Dispose of the rest as you wish, but do not tarry long.
No, please! Don't hurt them! You only need me!
Attack!
Fit to call yourselves Marama.
Stay your hand, stranger! This sea elf saved our lives.
I told the fool knights outside I wasn't their enemy. Do you have more sense than them? You're willing to talk. At least you're smarter than those knights outside. I suppose Sea Lord Nalos and his scum have taught the people of this island to fear anyone with blue skin. Understand this. I don't answer to that foul beast. Captain Siravane of the Gilded Blades. You'd call me a pirate, I suppose? But I'm not one of Sea Lord Nalos' traitors, and I'm not involved in all this druid foolishness. You look confused. Must be from the continent. Yes, I'm a Marama. Well, they're not captives anymore, and you and I need not be enemies. Sea Lord Nalos is my quarry, for reasons of my own. But I'll tell you this much, mercenary. Nalos seeks some sort of druid relic. Calls it a sacred seed. I'm not sure. That slimy eel escaped and he took one of the druids with him. Probably thinks she can take him to that seed. No matter. I'll find him. Warn your allies about the Sea Lord, mercenary. Galen isn't safe while he lives.
Sea elf escaped. Too bad. At least we can get these druids to safety. We'll handle things from here. Return to Vastir and report to Sir Stefan when you're ready.
do you think you'll make with that?
This work isn't going to do itself.
These sea elf pirates become more brazen every day. When is House Mornard going to do something?
You know, House Dufort never has these problems on High Isle.
That's not entirely true. There are those incidents with the Ascendant Order.
Castle Morn, all good people far and near. You'll never be without in the city.
Your people are in as much danger as everyone else, Galfin. Sea elves make no distinctions when it comes to staging raids.
I didn't say we weren't, Dame Fada. But the Stone Lord can fend for themselves. We always have.
I'm simply suggesting...
Ah, here's our mate now.
Well met, friend. Dulef tells me you handled yourself well at Windrak Fort. Now, what news of the other two locations? Laurel seemed troubled when she returned, but she went to find Archdruid Reval before I could speak to her. A good thing I sent you to Tuin, then. The Eldertide rarely need or want our help, but I'm glad we could provide it. Still, why would the Dreadsails take prisoners to the Cove? When Sea Elves take captives, they usually sail off and demand ransom. The Dreadsails are working with a druid of the Firesong Circle? The Firesong usually have nothing to do with outsiders, let alone Sea Elf pirates. And now I understand why Laurel seemed so worried, and why the Dreyfa has been summoned. What madness! A war among the circles is the last thing Galen needs right now. I've been invited to observe the Dreyfa. I'd like you to tag along. Find Laurel in the Vine District here in the city. If she agrees, you can join us. The Vine District lies on the east side of the city near the harbor. It's a small druid conclave. I'll join you there shortly. I need to confer with my father and send scouts to search for Sea Lord Nalos while we attend the Dreyfa.
I hope my journey ends far from here. That is the only way I can see it ending safely.
Well?
Taking that aroma, folks. That's the Chef Razi's guarantee. You there, Trevor. You look as adventurous as my taste buds. Care to help the greatest chef in Tamriel?
Oh, hello again. What brings you to the Vine District? I hoped to see you again, my friend. But I need to prepare for the Dreyfa. The Elders really must deal with the strife that has come between the circles. You know, that's not a bad idea. Few outsiders are permitted to attend the council meetings, but you can attest to what we saw at Tuin. The Firesong Circle is willing to use force to gather the 3 sacred seeds, and that's just wrong. The last Druid King gave 1 seed to each circle long ago. He also gave us a prophecy, the Dream of Kasserine. Some Druids consider it a warning, but Archdruid Orlaith and others believe it's a call to action. Meet me at the Telling Stone, the landmark near the center of the island. It would be easier to simply show you the prophecy, and it's close to Dreyfadel. Besides, there's someone at the stone you should meet.
There you are. Laurel, may I escort you to the Dreyfa?
My thanks, Stefan. I have much to tell you. But I promise to show our friend here the Telling Stone along the way.
Of course. We'll see you at the Telling Stone, friend.
Let's ride.
I'm busy, very busy.
That should come in handy.
Sheath your weapons. The battle is won.
An outsider? Well, if this is Ifray's will... Come here, please. Outsider, I fear for my wife, my Gwenaël. A group of Firesong druids attacked our home in Ifray's path. I managed to escape the slaughter, but Gwenaël's still in there. I tried to go back for her, but the path has grown more dangerous. Yes, outsider. Animals lash out. The spirit motes that once inspired us blanket the land in a thick fog. The spirit of the path may be injured or frightened. I do not know what the Firesong want or how they turn my home against me. The spirit of Ifray's path. We call it the Chronicle. We Eldertide made our home here to care for and tend to the spirit. Outsider, I'm trusting you. I'm putting my wife's safety in your hands. Help me find her, and I will see you well rewarded. The entrance to the path is just over there. I'll meet you on the steps down into the Sacred Valley. There we can find out what happened to my Gwenaël. But first, let me bless you against the dangers within. Ifray's path is a sacred place, with a small community of druids to look after it. Ifray set the spirit here, the one we call the Chronicle. It shares stories with us, shows us events that happened long ago. Through the blessings of the spirit motes, Ifray is the storyteller. All of nature comes from Ifray, but so do our tales and songs. The Chronicle utilizes both aspects of its creator. Articles released by the Chronicle. Normally we breathe in the gift of the spirit and experience the story it wishes us to see. A vision, you might call it. Perfectly safe. Except I've never seen such large clouds of spirit motes before. Oh, Ifray, let no overcast skies or snaring vines cloud the intention of our thoughts.
That should come in handy. Storms have mercy. The motes are even thicker now.
Courage brings victory.
Great area for harvesting.
Druid Senna saw the moat cloud form? It's like nothing I've encountered.
What do you think you'll make with that?
Skytouch. They're all dead.
Let's go!
Gwenaël. She's not here. We found the last notes of Druid Senna and a group of dead Eldertide. But my Gwenaël is still among the missing. What do you think, outsider? What do your non-Druid senses tell you? Yes, the Chronicle grows plants called muse-mouths, which release a small amount of spirit motes when we commune with it. The motes show us the stories. They've never threatened or harmed us before, and they never appeared as great clouds either. Other than the thick concentration, I'm not sure. Druid Senna mentioned that the Firesong caught in the fog lowered their weapons and then marched off as if in a trance. This is very strange. No, but the others all lived in our community. And from the looks of it, they were killed by the Firesong attackers. They must have been surprised. There are no Firesong druids among the dead. But there's also no sign of my wife. Not finding my wife could mean anything. All we know is that she's not here. She could be anywhere. But yes, let's go check the waterfalls to the north. That's where Druid Senna's note said the Firesong druids went after the spirit motes descended. The waterfalls? I'd rather not discuss the waterfalls. That area is very private, not a place for those outside our circle. Still, if that's where the Firesong druid went, we need to check. There were a lot of them in the raiding party. They must be somewhere. Come on. The waterfall's on the north wall of the valley. Let's keep looking.
No remorse! They made their choices. So be it.
Spirit motes surround that Firesong druid. Talk to her, outsider. This won't hold her long.
Must go. Join. It calls me. The spirit of the path. It calls to us. We must go. Defend it. Protect it. Attacked. Frightened. It needs us. It must be defended. Defend! Defend!
Wait! Not in there! Over here, outsider. It appears that the spirit motes do more than just tell us stories, outsider. That Firesong druid's mind was clearly being influenced, if not outright controlled. But why is the Chronicle doing this? It never exhibited hostile behavior before. The blessing I bestowed upon us before we set out must be keeping the motes at bay. Given the power we just saw, I'm not sure how much longer that protection will last. I suppose you'll need to accompany me into the tunnels. It is a sacred place, outsider. The tunnels lead to ritual chambers, the Muse-mouth plants, and to the spirit of the path, the Chronicle. Hopefully, my Gwenair is also somewhere inside. on that
Oblivion
platform.
take you!
But the forest grace too, here. A muse mouth. It has a story to tell us, outsider. I can sense it. Examine the flash.
Tell us how to access the Chronicle, or this is your fate. No! How could you?
Gwinnell. And the Chronicle. Did you see it too? The spirit is trying to tell us something. Ifray's bones. What happened to the Chronicle? Outsider, this is the Chronicle, the spirit we communed with. But it's grown dark. Can you feel the anger radiating from it? The sadness? I don't like the looks of this. The Chronicle's always been more emotional than other nature spirits. It comprehends the experience of mortals and feels our emotions vicariously through the stories it shares. I've felt its calm, its joy, and even its grief. But this... Perhaps. But there's a depth to this emotion I've never felt before. It unnerves me. Let's hurry. My Gwinnell is in here somewhere, and my fear for her safety grows with every passing moment. The door is just over there. Another Musemouth plant. I sense the Chronicle has more to show us.
You refuse to give us Ifray's gift? Very well. We will just kill you and take the Chronicle.
We can't just give you the Chronicle. The spirit is bound to this sacred place.
Then we'll cut the Chronicle from the roots and... What's happening?
Spirit motes.
Spirit motes saved Gwinnell? The Chronicle blessed us with another vision. We saw the Firesong attack Eldertide, threaten us to gain possession of the Chronicle. All this bloodshed. That could explain why the spirit feels so guilty. But the moats, it saved Grinnell. Nature spirits, especially ones as strong as the Chronicle, are known among the circles. While the Firesong rarely leave Ifilon, they've always been aware of our spirit. Some even traveled here to partake of its stories. Obviously, the Chronicle is capable of more than we ever gave it credit for. Recording and showing recent events, influencing the minds of people and animals. But why druids would want access to that kind of power, I can barely speculate.
Fight? Good. Such a high concentration of spirit motes is dangerous. The blessing won't protect us from this. Worse, vines seal the doors beyond. I think I have an idea, though. The Musemouth plants in the room ahead are bloated, spewing out huge clouds of spirit motes. I can remove the vines that block the door, but I'm too old to withstand the motes in such concentrations. Luckily, I have a few vials of Ifre's rain. Purified water from a sacred waterfall. Gwinnell uses it to awaken those who sometimes get lost in the visions. The water causes Musemouth plants to shrink and close up for a time. Even ones bloated as much as these should react the same way. I'm not afraid of you.
It worked. I knew it would.
forest wraith. I expected to find Firesong druids in here, especially given the size of their invading force. But the wraiths... those creatures only appear in the most dire circumstances. Forest wraith. I expected to find Firesong druids in here, especially given the size of their invading force. But the wraiths... those creatures only appear in the most dire circumstances. Forest wraith. I expected to find Firesong druids in here, especially... A forest wraith. I expected to find Firesong druids in here, especially given the size of their invading force. But the wraiths... those creatures only appear in the most dire circumstances. Forest wraith. Forest wraith. I expected to find Firesong druids in here, especially given the size of their invading force. But the wraiths... those creatures only appear in the most dire circumstances. Forest wraith. I expected to find Firesong druids in here, especially given the size of their invading force. But the wraiths... those creatures... Forest wraith.